Wow. I didn't realize I had such power. Everybody quieted down so quickly. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, and hey, campers, how are you? You having a good time? How about Carver? You having a good time during the summer? Okay, okay. Well, I'd like to get this started. We are in the city of Norwalk very, very proud to support Senate Bill 1542. It is such an important bill, and we want to thank our own Kadeem Roberts and Senator Gasson for co-sponsoring the bill. Kadeem? And we certainly want to welcome our governor, who's going to sign the bill right in front of everybody. So you're watching history, because Norwalk, or in Connecticut, is the first state in the union to pass such legislation. And it's so critically important because we know young people in their developmental years, an interaction with a police officer can change their behavior, change their life forever. I'm very proud of our Norwalk police officers standing over here who understand how important it is to deal with young people, treat them with respect, work with them. Norwalk does so much in the area of helping young people along the way. We've invested over $1 million in school and community-based programs. Recently completed a youth mental health gap analysis. The city is also piloting a first-of-its-kind multi-system coordination model coordinated by the Community Services Department. So we understand how important it is. So I want to get this program moving, and I want to thank the council people. Oh, okay. A last-minute change. But I want to thank the council people and the state reps that are here. If you could raise your hand and be... Those people that just raised your hand and the other people that are here that have elected officials, we're what makes government work. And it's critically important that we always work together on a stated mission so that we can all come together and make things happen in our communities. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our speaker, our Carver board member, Drew C.
All right.
There you are.
Good morning, everyone. To the governor and all our distinguished guests, on behalf of the Carver board, I'm delighted to welcome you today for the celebration for the signing of this bill. We're especially proud of Representative Kadeem Roberts, who has provided leadership on this bill. Like many of the young people here, Kadeem was part of the Carver program and was right here in this gym. So we're very proud of him, and he stands as a powerful example of what is possible when a community invests in its own. We're honored to witness this moment for all of you. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you. I do want to mention we have our superintendent of schools here, Dr. Estrella, and she's always working for young people as well. Now, one of the sponsors of the bill, Norwalk's own Kadeem Roberts.
Good morning. I'm Kadeem Roberts, State Representative for the 137th District. Thank you to Mayor Rilling and the entire Common Council for being here, Board of Education, and board members as well. Thank you to the Connecticut Justice Alliance. But first I want to say rest in peace to Percy Berry. Percy was one that helped me with this bill and just recently passed away on Monday. Thank you for supporting this bill and your testimonies. The CGA works to keep the kids out of the justice system and advocate for protection, rehabilitation of those within. They are unable to be here because every Thursday they provide services at Manson Institution, which is for youth institutions for kids that are incarcerated. The CGA relies on the voices of experiences of young people with first and second hand changes with the justice system. Those voices contributed to this bill, making it law. To the nonprofits in the room that I work with daily, thank you for showing up to testimonies, showing up to programs that I've had in this city, but most importantly, leading the groundwork that helped assist this bill get past the finish line. To Senator Winfield and Representative Stastrom, thank you for picking up that phone January 6th and accepting my idea to push this past the finish line. Some say I was crazy. Some say it would not be possible. But we got it done. To my entire Norwalk delegation, I'm happy to be the little bro, because every time I come to you guys always welcome me with open arms. So to Representative Sims, Representative Johnson, Representative Dathan, and of course our beloved Senator Bob Duff, thank you for getting this bill through the finish line. I'm going to say finish line a lot because you guys will realize where I'm going. Especially up until the last 30 minutes of session, the last day, we got this bill through the finish line. Thank you to Governor Lamont for coming to my stomping grounds, the Carver. I appreciate you and your staff's hard work, especially supporting this bill. Now to the family, it feels good to be back home in the Carver. Being a Carver kid, we got a different type of superpower. We know how to make sure when we're going through a lot and our back's against the wall, we know how to maneuver and get out. But we also have a different superpower where we know how to be a fellowshipper, but also build with our community. These deep roots is what made me think of this idea. Some statistics that you guys might want to know. 1 in every 3 black males will be arrested. 1 in every 6 black Latino males will be arrested. 1 in 16 white males will be arrested. In Connecticut, black people make up about 47% of the incarceration population, which is 3 times higher than the nation average. Yet, black people, we make up 13% of the state's population. Some things aren't confusing, everyone, when the information is right there in front of you. When I was 12 years old, I was walking with my cousin. The store was about 300 feet away. And officers pulled us over. As we were walking, they said we fit the description of a robbery around the corner. I was handcuffed, and my cousin was handcuffed. He was about 10 years older than me at the time. This day is what I know was traumatizing. As a child, we put faith in officers. We tell them they are public figures, and we are supposed to look up to them and feel protected, never scared. I want to be clear. Not every cop is a bad cop. But when you come from this black and brown community, our experiences are totally different from our counterparts. Maybe we have anxiety, maybe we have PTSD, but we should see law enforcement as the students in this room see their teachers and their counselors. Kids are still growing up in the most important times of their life. And understanding this bill, one traumatic incident of handcuffing a child can change their life forever. So this bill is for the Khalif Bowers. This bill is for the Kevin Richardson, the Raymond Santanas, the Yusef Salams, those you know as the Central Park 5. This bill is for the Trayvon Martins. This bill is for the Amos Brown Jr.'s. This bill is for the Taekwon Hunts. A lot has been said about disconnected youths in the state of Connecticut. These young adults separated from schools or workforces often needed to support the missing along the way. Many of them experienced trauma and have been failed by the system in place to support them. There is an obvious connection how we treat children in moments of crisis, their likelihood to be disconnected in early adulthood. We live in a world where the politics of crime and punishment often crowd out the decency of common sense. I'm proud that my colleagues in the state government did not fall for the easy excuse to do the wrong thing. Children should never be used as political tools. Safety, accountability, does not come at the expense of our childhood. I want this message to get to President Trump. I will leave you all with this message. To my colleagues at the Capitol, to the law enforcement, to the teachers, the doctors, and all the masses. No mistake makes a child disposable. Our job is not just to react to what they've done, but to believe in what they can still become. Thank you.
A well-deserved round of applause. Powerful words spoken by Kadeem Roberts. And we thank him and the next speaker for co-sponsoring this bill. We're going to bring up Senator Haran Gaston.
Good afternoon to all of you. So glad to be here. First and foremost, we need to give a thunderous round clap and applause to Representative Roberts for introducing this historic and unprecedented piece of legislation. To Governor Lamont and all the other representatives that are here on today, we thank you so very much for being here. I represent the 23rd Senatorial District, encompassing the city of Bridgeport and the town of Stratford. I'm State Senator Haran Gaston. I'm so excited to co-author this piece of legislation because, you know, all too often I've experienced the ease with which young black and brown men who often look like me fall into the crushing yoke of injustice by an inherently prejudicial criminal legal system. We heard the numbers as they were touted earlier today by Representative Roberts that 1 in 3 African Americans will be arrested in their lifetime. 1 in 6 Latinos will be arrested in their lifetime. 1 in 16 white will be arrested in their lifetime. I believe 1 in 17 Asians will be arrested in their lifetime. And I believe Tavis Smiley said it best. When you look at the criminal justice system, you oftentimes see just us. That regardless of where you look at in the United States, African Americans make up roughly 13% of the general population, but in a lot of areas make up over 60 to 70% of our jail and prison population. And we spend an astronomical amount of money behind the control of black bodies of what I call the invisible institution, where they lock you up and throw away the keys. It is cheaper to send you to Yale than to send you to jail. And so we want to look at our kids and say we see promise in you, that education is the bridge to the future. It's the cornerstone by which our success so heavily depends upon. And it is crucially important that we make the proper investments to let you know that this jail and prison system is not where you're going to resign. That you are going to be the scientists, the doctors, the lawyers, the judges, because I see the will in you. The reason that I'm standing up here on today is because I myself have also been behind that invisible institution and know the sting and the stigma of what that brings to young people. When I was about 14 years of age, I grew up in a town in Haines City, Florida, and my brother and I were driving down in one of the communities that people consider to be the ghetto. And I went to church there. We lived in that part of the city, and an officer got behind the car and said, you all need to get out of the car. And I still remember the chilling effect of having a gun behind my ear. And my brother and I got to the ground, laid down on the ground. People were passing by, and there was an old lady by the name of Janet Jolly Smith who stopped and said, I know those young men. What are you doing? And they said, well, the car looks like a suspicious vehicle driving around the heart of the city, and so we decided that we were going to stop these young men. And I can tell you that that had a psychological impact on me for a very long time. The trauma that that created, the hysteria that that created, the lack of trust that I had developed for public institutions like our police. And as was mentioned, not every police officer is a bad police officer, but there are bad actors out there who really put young people and create that level of hysteria and fear that they live with for the rest of their lives. And so I say that to say that this legislation is so important that it's taken a stand for some of the most vulnerable in our communities. I did a TED Talk that talked a little bit about this experience of having been ordered to the ground as a young kid. And as I'm telling you the story now, I vividly recall, and I can remember exactly the day that it happened. I can tell you the people that were on the street. I can tell you exactly what those officers looked like, and it is seared in my memory. And so I don't want any other kid to have to go through that kind of experience, and I think that this is what this piece of legislation is going to do, curtail and ensure that that doesn't happen to anybody. So once again, thank you for this great opportunity of being here and allowing me to speak for a few minutes.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Again, powerful words. The next speaker I'd like to bring up is the chair of the Judiciary Committee and a strong supporter of this bill, Steve Stastrom.
Mr. Mayor, and thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. As said, I'm Steve Stastrom. I'm the House Chairman of the Judiciary Committee where this bill originated. Show of hands. How many folks in this room have been handcuffed? How many folks have been handcuffed? I have. You know? It is a traumatic experience. Just the sheer act of being handcuffed in and of itself is a traumatic experience. And one that before we do it to a child, we need to think long and hard about. This bill does not prevent a police officer from handcuffing someone. It doesn't. What it does is it says, stop and think. Stop and think whether that child, based on what they did, or rather what they are alleged to have done, deserves to go through that traumatic experience of being handcuffed. I would argue this bill is one that keeps our state safer. Here's why. Study after study after study after study tells us the more and the earlier an interaction a child has with the criminal justice system, the more likely they are to have another experience of the criminal justice system, and another, and another, and another. It begins a cycle. A single night in jail can be enough to traumatize a kid, to lead them not down a path of rehabilitation, but down a path of repeat incarceration. This bill begins to unravel that. Kadeem, thank you for your leadership. To all my colleagues on the Judiciary Committee who voted for this in the legislature, thank you. And Governor, thank you for taking a stand with us. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Representative Stastrom. Now, I believe the next order of speech is Project Manager for the Juvenile Justice Policy and Oversight Committee, Brittany Lamar.
Good afternoon. I'm Brittany Lamar. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Connecticut's Juvenile Justice Policy and Oversight Committee, a committee administered through the Tau Youth Justice Institute and chaired by both our legislative and executive branches, Representative Tony Walker and Undersecretary Daniel Karpowitz. The JJPOC represents one of the state's most collaborative and forward-thinking bodies working to improve outcomes for youth in the legal system. With representation from law enforcement, advocacy organizations, impacted families, and multiple state agencies, the committee ensures the diverse perspectives inform policy development and implementation. By grounding its work in national best practices and evaluating state policy impacts, the JJPOC builds consensus around practical, effective reform. It doesn't just study policy, it listens, learns, adapts, and ensures that every voice helps shape the path forward. We are proud to work alongside the Connecticut Justice Alliance, which works so hard with the Judiciary Committee and others in the state legislature to pass this bill. Today's signing of Senate Bill 1542 is not simply a legal change, it's a message. It affirms that our children deserve dignity, even in moments of crisis, and that law enforcement has a shared interest in tools and standards that are developmentally appropriate. For police, the bill provides clarity and safeguards that reduce harm. For youth and families, it builds trust in systems that have too often felt punitive. And for communities, it represents progress toward healing and accountability. This is how safety and justice come together, through policies rooted in evidence, empathy, and mutual respect. SB 1542 is part of a deeper transformation, one that redefines justice as the pursuit of opportunity, not the management of punishment. Connecticut is building a system where accountability is not lost. Every child feels seen, supported, and empowered to grow. Justice in this vision means ensuring our youth encounter pathways to possibility rather than barriers steeped in hopelessness or fear. It is grounded in the belief that safer communities emerge not through incarceration, but through investment in children's potential. My commitment to this work isn't theoretical or symbolic. I've experienced these policies firsthand as a young person. What drives me is not ideology, but lived understanding and a belief that accountability must be reshaped to reflect growth, not just punishment. This future asks us to be bold, to align our laws with our values, to place care before control, and to recognize that youth justice is real justice, one that uplifts rather than confines, believes rather than blames, and nurtures rather than forecloses them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the CEO of Catalyst, a nonprofit that runs youth diversion, mediation, and other programs, Mark Donald, I'm sorry.
Thank you all for being here again. My name is Mark Donald. It's Donald like the duck, not McDonald like the burger. I usually get a lot more laughs than that, but my kids tell me not to tell stupid jokes at the beginning of it. Anyway, I want to come here through a little bit of different lens of lived experience, and grateful that Representative Roberts did a lot of the heavy lifting. Want to shout out the Connecticut Justice Alliance, as he mentioned. They're doing the work right now, so they couldn't be here. And especially send our thoughts to them and the Justice Advisor Percy, who recently passed away. So my lived experience looks a little different. I was a principal in New Haven for middle school, right in the population that this bill targets to support. We didn't have the option of handcuffing young people. And these were very traumatized young people. Many were born drug addicted. Many had severe problems with emotional regulation. We didn't have that option. We had tools. And let me tell you, we were the Navy SEALs of de-escalation. And what this bill does is give us the opportunity to implement those tools before we get to that point of handcuff, before we get to that point of traumatizing young people even more, before we get to the point of all of a sudden making it about who handcuffed me, that badge, that uniform, and now everyone's an enemy forever. We instead give the opportunity and the tools for police to become allies. We give the opportunity for young people to understand and live through, develop the tools as they get older. Many adults in the room, many of us probably have had teenagers. We know they're not always the most rational when they're frustrated, when they're escalated, when they're angry, when they're out of their minds. This bill gives us the opportunity to implement some of those tools. At Catalyst CT, we believe in creating pathways, not pipelines. We have opportunities that work. About 15 months ago, maybe a little bit more, I sat in a room upstairs along with Novelette, the CEO of Carver Center. And we were discussing the 119K Commission report. For those who aren't familiar, it's a report commissioned by the Connecticut Opportunity Project, which looked at all factors of young people in Connecticut and identified 119,000 disengaged and disconnected youth in every community. During that panel, the moderator asked me, "What surprised you about this report?" My response was absolutely nothing. "Well, what works to prevent this?" My response was, "We have the tools. How much time do you have?" I'm proud to say that this bill takes a small step in addressing some of those tools that prevent young people from becoming disengaged and disconnected. Allows the skills that they've learned at the Carver Center to grow up and be connected, thriving young people. We know young people thrive in communities, not courtrooms. They thrive in playgrounds, not prisons. We know what works. Through the leadership of the people behind me, we've been able to institute this. Some of the things that work and I'll save my sermon on restorative justice for another day. But restorative justice is not absence of consequences. Restorative justice allows young people to learn from their mistakes. This bill allows us to institute programs like this that work. This is progress that's led by principle, and these principles led by Representative Roberts, Governor Lamont, Representative Gaston, many others, Senator Stafford behind us. Let's keep working together to build a system that works for our youth, that helps our youth thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We want to thank Carver. Carver's a wonderful organization. You can tell by these young people here. And Carver has become a family, and people who pass through the Carver walls come back year after year after year to volunteer. I also want to thank again our Norwalk Police Department, because I, as chairperson of the Police Commission, get to see the training, get to see the outreach that our department has, preparing them for issues where they can deal with young people, deal with all people in a proper way with de-escalation techniques and other kinds of things. So thank you, Norwalk police officers, for all the wonderful things that you do. I've also been told that we have a Devon Ward here, Connecticut Ombudsman office. Thank you for being here. Again, representing the young people over here, as you see, the future of our country, nothing is more powerful than hearing from a young person. And I'd like to bring forward a brave young man who's offered to come up and speak, Caleb Aaron, youth camper at the Carver. Caleb?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Caleb Aarons, and I just want to say thank you all so much for being here today. It means a lot to us as young people to see so many leaders, supporters, and community members come together for something so important. Being part of this program has made a big difference in my life, and I know it's done the same for so many others. We're grateful for the support that helps make it all possible. Now it gives me great privilege and honor to introduce someone who has shown strong support for youth and our communities. Please join me in welcoming the Governor of Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont.
All right, hey, Carver kids, hang with us just for a few more minutes, because I'm going to see if I can get those TV cameras to turn around, and we're going to have a dance contest. And whoever's the best dancer is going to be on TV. Are you with me? Hey, I just want to say that, get ready, slow down. But hearing from Heron and Kadim and Steve, these members, they make up the legislature. That's like the Congress. And I think you can hear they bring their personal experiences there as we try and make laws to keep you safe and make sure we're doing the right thing. And you've heard from their personal experiences that sometimes the punishments do a lot more bad than good. And that's what this bill is all about, making sure that we're doing good, making sure that you get the very best opportunity in life, make sure that you get back on track. And that's what we're here because we love each and every one of you, and that's what Carver's all about, and that's what Catalyst is all about. And by the way, that's what the Norwalk Police are all about as well. We want to do everything we can to keep you safe, and that's what we're looking out for you. And I love programs like Carver. I just think that each and every one of you, every day you show up here, after school, preschool, summers, stay involved with your friends. That's how you stay on track. That's how you make sure you get the very best opportunities in life. And that's what we're trying to do every day here in the state of Connecticut with the folks behind me. And the only thing I'd ask each and every one of you is stay in the state, get a great education in the state, stick around the state. We want you here in the state of Connecticut. We love you, and so does Carver, so does Catalyst, and so do each of the people standing here behind me. So I'm going to say let's get ahead and sign this bill. But first of all, are any of you guys dancers back there? Can any of you dance? Can you dance and we have a TV camera looking at you? Hey, TV cameras, can you turn that around just for a second, see if you get a good picture? All right, you guys, let's see what you can do.
I think the governor could dance too.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, how are you? How about you? Good to see you. He's going to put something on for them to dance too.
I'm sorry?
He's going to put something on for them to dance too. Yeah.
We'll have them edit some music on it.
Sign the bill, Harry?
You're ready to sign.
There you go, buddy. Great to see you.
Nice to see you. Always
I
good
think
to
you
have
and
you.
I can get some fashion advice from Kadeem.
Yes, I know, right? I was going to say, I tried out dressing all the time. I don't do it.
Let's get the kids up here to sign me.
Okay, can we have some of the kids behind the governor here? You know, I used to have energy like that about 70 years ago.
Get some kids up here.
And when we're getting ready to sign, again, I just want to thank the governor for coming to the city of Norwalk. We'd love to have him here. He's been such a supporter, not only of Norwalk, but the entire state. But I say he's the best governor in the country.